and we can get started. Hi, Tarah. Welcome to Beyond Kill.
Hey. We're live. Yay, finally.
Yes.
There's always issues right before.
God, yes. Karen, we apologize for the delay, but we are here, ladies, and we have such amazing topic to talk about today. But for that, first, I want to introduce Tarah, and I know she gave me her beautiful, pretty much like a professional bio, and I'm so impressed with all the studies that you have done, Tarah. I am truly amazed. And I've talked to you so many times, and I know how knowledgeable you are, way beyond knowledge. So I'm so excited to have everybody, learn from you. But here is our guest, Tarah, and whose life mission is to raise the consciousness of the planet. Tarah has a major in international development studies, and as added experience, she has lived in Africa, Europe, North America, and South America, giving her an in-depth view into different cultures and global dynamics. Her areas of interest and knowledge are spirituality, studying consciousness, exopolitics, the ascension timeline, astrology, manifestation, and energy healing. That's amazing, Tarah. I'm impressed. I'm just tapping into.
It sounds crazier than it is, I promise.
Okay, well, that was good enough. Okay.
Thank you. That was nice. Thank you, Denise. That was really nice.
Yes. So,
yeah. No, definitely. I mean, you can finish what you were saying. I was just going to add to that, saying that, like, my awakening for this the reason I started, I mean, I haven't been studying this my whole life, to be honest. It's something I just started looking into really in the last, I would say, 3 or 4 years, but my awakening started in 2012, and it came crazy, like in a really weird way too. I mean, I started seeing numbers. Like, I don't know if you know that movie with Jim Carrey where he saw numbers all the time, like weird sequences, and everyone thought he was going crazy. Yeah, that was me. Like, I was like seeing ones everywhere. I was like, what's going on? Like, every number I looked at was just a sequential number, and then I started getting these interactions, and it was just crazy. So this is like my mission. This is my passion. This is any free time I have, I'm researching. I'm trying to like learn new things, and yeah.
No, I agree. Yeah, synchronization is awesome. Yeah, when it starts happening, right? We have all the signs, even the birds.
Yeah.
Message, right?
It's crazy. Yeah.
So with that, I'm going to start my first question. We have like 5 questions.
Sure.
I have heard about the Age of Aquarius, but I never really had clarity of what that really means. I know that it's something about the world changing the vibration with the sun getting closer to the earth, and just the world in general raising the vibration, and people have to kind of like keep up or level up, to flow with a new vibration. So tell us a little bit more about what is the Age of Aquarius.
Yeah, you got it. So basically, we're in a really crazy time. Along with, I wouldn't say that a lot of people really know what that is. So I will kind of explain basically what's happening is, so, I mean, I guess in astrology, or this is something that most people would be aware of because you've heard of it through like zodiac signs, and things like that. So throughout the year, we have the different stages, right? We go through the Cancer, like right now we're in Cancer season. Next week, we're starting into Leo. And that's in the 12-month year. So the Earth itself, with the rotation around just in our solar system, has its own cycle too. And it goes by the same zodiac signs. So we actually just shifted from the age of Pisces now into the age of Aquarius. And it's about a 2,500 year cycle roughly. So the last time that Earth was, in this space, in the solar system, dinosaurs were basically walking around and things like that. So it's crazy, yeah. So we've already shifted into this age of Aquarius. It's a different energy altogether. From when we're shifting from the age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius, it's kind of like a lot of it has to do with shedding your ego. The ego is something that we all have, and it's not something you can get rid of for sure, but it's something we have to learn to balance. And this whole time on Earth, throughout this whole, our whole existence as humanity, we've been sort of ascending. We were very savage a long time ago. We were very there was a lot of duality, you know, evil and good, you know, things like that. So we're kind of ascending from that to becoming more light, okay, into 5D frequencies. The ego is kind of put aside. We're kind of more about service to others now, about expanding our consciousness, unity consciousness, things like that. So yeah, we're basically also going from 3D to 5D. And this is the other thing that a lot of people are not really aware of, is that we're literally, the earth is shifting and we're being forced to shift with it. So things are happening that we don't always understand. Like the vibrations are changing now,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. And I think everybody's starting to noticing that. That's why a lot
Yeah.
of people are seeking for answers right now. And a lot of people are you know, there's a lot of guidance right now. There's a lot of knowledge. There's a lot of live beings working to help people align with this vibration, which is, you know, I feel like a news right now because it's, you know,
it is though. It is. We're like the forerunners, you know, of all of this. We're like, you know,
for sure. We don't want
like
anybody
sharing this with the world. And
yeah, once you discover the path, you're like, oh my God, I was way more powerful than my brain.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, completely. Our DNA is activating too right now, and it's crazy. It's actually crazy because I mean, I won't get into it too much, but we're basically, what's happening is we're going from 2-strand DNA to 12-strand. We actually have 12-stranded DNA, and it's what scientists have been calling junk DNA this whole time. You know, we've only actually have had 2 active strands. We're supposed to have 12 active strands. So the actual human prototype as a human, the way we are now, is not how we're supposed to be. We're actually supposed to be like superhumans, basically, as our natural state of being. And we're reactivating that now. So telepathy, kinetics, like we'll be able to move stuff with our mind. We can talk without having, you know, telepathically. All kinds of things, all kinds, natural body healing, instant healing, you know, things like that. So it's exciting.
Say like, oh, you know, we only use the right side of our brain. Well, now our left side is getting activated, you know?
Yeah, it's the balancing. It's like we're becoming the perfect balance now, the creative side and the logical side, you know?
Yeah, I know, I agree.
Definitely.
Awesome. So what is so special about this time? What does it mean for people? Like what is it that makes this time so important for everybody to understand?
It's kind of a breaking point right now for humanity. So right now, a lot of people are being forced to decide whether it's consciously or subconsciously where their journey is gonna go. Are they gonna ascend to 5D, or are they gonna stay stuck in 3D? So what's happening, and it sounds crazy, so I'm gonna try and explain it in like a really simple way. But the earth is breaking into another earth, literally. So this is like the old earth, and it's shifting dimensions now into a new 5D earth. So when you understand dimensions, you understand time. Time is irrelevant. So time doesn't even exist. Everything that's happened, is happening, and will happen is all happening at the same time, technically. And dimensions are also coexisting at the same time. So everyone's on their own journey. So it's not about judging at all. Like somebody who's still stuck in 3D life lessons. So we come to Earth to learn lessons. That's the whole thing. It's like a school, basically. It's the hardest school. So if we are here right now, even the people listening in or who listen to this video later or whatever, it's already like a huge thing, because it's super hard to be here on Earth. It's a very dense planet. We're shifting from that denseness to more light. That's the whole thing that's happening. And it's not easy, because we have to also deal with a lot of the things that we had to deal with on Earth that weren't always our fault, but that we actually chose, whether you realize it or not. When we came here, we have a soul contract. We chose our families. We chose the lessons we want to learn, which were probably very hard for most of us, caused a lot of trauma. And we have to now heal from that, you know? But once you heal from it, which is hard, but it's doable, you know, it takes time. Oh my God, like you become this other kind of being. I mean, you become your higher self, you merge with your higher self. You know what I mean? That's the whole thing.
Yeah, totally agree. It's a powerful journey, because once you enter into this awakening process, you do realize how much work you have to do with yourself.
Yeah, you have to face a lot of dark stuff, you know, but you have to face it. You have to face it. That's the whole healing thing.
You know,
You face it, you learn not to judge it either.
yeah, I used to not understand, you know, this whole concept about shamanism and a lot of medicine, like nature, you know, like we are going back to connect with earth, right? With our nature, with the flow of
Exactly.
the nature. But we are, I used to hear a lot of ayahuasca and like other type of like ceremonies, you know, and healing.
Incredible stuff. Have you done ayahuasca? Have you ever tried it?
No, I haven't done ayahuasca, but I've done mushrooms, magic mushrooms.
Oh my God.
And
And
amazing, amazing, amazing. I used to judge that, thinking, well, that's a drug, right? But now it's, of course,
completely.
it's a natural medicine,
It's,
psychedelic
yeah,
experience.
it's a psychedelic, and it's different because,
Yeah, you're gonna get with your true self, that your cosmic self.
oh yeah, you are. You're gonna see your guides sometimes. I mean, I had an out of body experience. I mean, I didn't do mushrooms, and I really do want to try ayahuasca one day. That's one thing I do want to do. So I'm waiting for the right time for that. But I had this really crazy out of body experience a couple of years ago when I was awakening. And I did a really strong meditation, and I basically asked to meet my guides, and I really did that night. I didn't realize I was out of my body. Like I literally got up in the middle of the night just to go to the bathroom, thinking I was just in my regular body. Yeah. And I realized that I wasn't, you know, and then my guide basically encountered me like in my house. He started speaking to me in light language. I mean, it was a really incredible experience. So I know these things are real, you know. It's hard to like believe when you don't see it with these eyes, but it's about the third eye. That's the other thing, right? I mean, well, we can talk about that for a second if you want.
Yes, please.
About the third eye, you know, the pineal gland. Yeah, I mean, it's a gland. Oh my God.
Calling, people calling.
Heidi's calling me. I'm so sorry.
Don't worry.
I'm so sorry. One second.
Now we have some people online. Thank you guys for joining.
Yeah, just a second. Okay, can you still hear me? Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Anyways, the pineal gland, it's a gland that we have literally, you know, around here, and it's small. It's been studied. Basically, it has the same composition as our actual eye. Okay, why is that? Yeah. So what it is over time, and this is something I don't want to get too much into right now. I don't want to get into the whole conspiracy theory thing, but over time, humanity has basically been dumbed down. Okay, the food we eat, you know, wheat, gluten, these kinds of things, they actually calcify fluoride in the water. They calcify our pineal gland, so it doesn't work. When it's fully activated, it's another eye. It's basically your way into the Akash, which is like, you know, the universe's library, source energy. You can access all kinds of information, and that's been blocked in a lot of people. So the whole thing is now trying to decalcify it. Okay, and there's ways you can do that. There's a lot of supplements you can take, like turmeric, different kinds of supplements you can take to actually decalcify it.
Meditation, yeah.
Meditation, exercises. You can do exercises even at home, like with your husband, for example. Like think of something and see if he can pick up on it, things like that, you know. You can start to work it a little bit more. But yeah, so the whole thing is getting that activated now too, because that's going to allow us to connect with the cosmos, with the beings that are out there. I mean, I think everyone is also starting to hear about ETs now. The information's out there. The Pentagon's put information out there confirming, you know, ET existence and things. So this is a crazy time for us because we were kind of quarantined off for a long time on Earth from the rest of the universe. And now it's like our graduation. We're literally integrating and joining back. So we're going to be able to integrate and like get to know the other planets, the other civilizations out there that are waiting to meet us, literally waiting to meet us.
Just not getting to that.
It's going to be crazy. Yeah. No, it's not scary. That's the thing. Media makes it look scary, but it's not. It's not. I mean, these beings are benevolent, you know? They're like us. A lot of them look like us.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even know. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I don't
really,
it's I don't want people might think I'm an alien.
No. Well, technically we are, right? I mean, another being coming in would say, "Oh my God, like, look at those aliens." I guess.
Okay, so yeah, I think we pretty much covered like our first three questions. So My next question will be, how are we going to transition from 3D to 5D world?
Yeah.
You know, when I read the what is it, the sentence of knowing that you are already in the 5D, I truly feel very blessed because I align with all, not just aligning in like knowing the knowledge, but align in my heart that I can finally see the world with my third eye. You know what I mean? Pretty much. So
Yeah.
how are we going to transition from 3D to 5D? I think it's a unique journey for everybody, but what can help?
It is. It is. You no, completely. It's a unique journey for everybody. It can be uncomfortable sometimes too, because there's something that's physically going on in our bodies at the same time. So one thing I'll mention is that when we're in 3D, our body is carbon based. It's carbon based. As we're shifting to 5D, it starts to transition to crystalline based. So it's literally your DNA, your skin, your cells are changing. They're actually releasing some of that denseness, and they're actually shifting into a crystalline based form. And that's called activating your light body. Basically, that's what that is. Your Merkaba, you know, I'm sure you've heard these terms before because you read on these things, you know, but this is what this is basically. And also a lot of things will happen, like the way that you eat will change, you know. When you're in 3D, you're kind of more dense, so your sacral, your root chakras are kind of more active as opposed to your crown and your so your lower chakras are more activated as opposed to your upper chakras. So you need more dense foods, things like that, to keep you grounded. But as you start to ascend, you become lighter, you start to require lighter foods, like more water, more fruits, vegetables, fresh things, less like, you know, dense stuff.
Yeah, because you can vibrate.
Everyone's journey is different though. Yeah. And there's times when you like in retrogrades or when we're going through portal energy, when your body really needs to anchor and ground even more. So during those times, you might get confused because you actually might crave more sugar or more things like that just to ground. And you might want to sleep more, you might get more exhausted, things like that. So there's periods we go through, and that's why I share, if you follow like my page or whatever, every day I share different energy reports, things to help people understand what's going on like astrologically and how that's affecting your body, if it's affecting you with your sleep or with whatever. There's information there, so it helps you really understand what's going on.
You might even feel like you have a cough. You might even feel like
completely. So there was a time when I was I would say about 2 years ago, my throat, this chakra right here, was very blocked because I had a lot of like trauma as a child and things like that. So I learned not to speak my voice, you know, just speak myself. So I started to sort of heal that. And for a while, I felt like I had a cold nonstop, like just a sore throat all the time. And I didn't know what was happening. And that's when I started reading up on all of this, and I started to understand, and I started doing weird things like singing, actually, trying to sing, and I started to open it up more. Yeah, it did. And then it goes away. So it's different things that you might think I just a cold, but no, it's actually a blocked chakra that needs to be opened. You need to like face whatever it is that you're feeling that's blocking it. It's not comfortable sometimes, even if it's trauma, if it's sadness, if it's anger, whatever, but face it, don't hide it. Like face that energy, feel it, cry. Sometimes I do that. Like I'll go and I'll cry. I'll think about something in my childhood that's still triggering me, and I'll cry about it, and I feel amazing after. And I let it go. I let it go because it happened to you. You can't also deny what happened to you, right?
Yeah, totally. I learned for me to overcome those blocks. A very, very close friend of mine, she's also a healer, but she told me, you know, every time you feel fear, give love. Where you feel fear, give love. Okay.
Yeah.
And where you feel doubt, trust. And that's pretty much the love that comes.
I love that.
You know?
No, it is. I love that. And it's almost like what you're saying is just surrender to the universe, surrender to the energies, and just trust that you are taken care of, because we are. We have a team behind us, whether we realize it or not. And you might sometimes, you know, remember certain dreams you had or experiences that you kind of dismiss, and you're like, oh, it was nothing. No, you know what I mean? But you know, deep inside, like if you listen to your intuition and your heart, you know when you've had an experience, when you've had a contact experience with your guides, with your angels, you know deep inside. So it starts to become also more intense as you go on in the ascension, like
yes, I know. starting.
You start talking to them like they're your friends almost. You're like, they start leaving you things. They start, no, I mean, you see the numbers, everything.
Yeah, for sure. I like to talk about the ego and ego death.
Oh,
What's
we
going
hate talking about the ego, but we have to talk about the ego.
because we
Yeah.
all have it. It's so funny, but obviously some of us haven't been more balanced, less balanced.
No, completely.
And some
No,
of us
completely.
are fully full of ego, so.
Oh, no. And it's the hardest thing to deal with the ego too. We have to overcome it, but everyone's on their own journey. That's the other thing. So we all kind of have to do it at our own pace, right? The ego is like, okay, so basically think about it this way. Right now, this is Earth, the old 3D Earth, okay? And this is the new 5D Earth. I wish I had a diagram to show you this. And in between, imagine like a little tunnel, okay? This is where we are in right now, the tunnel. Okay, so it's kind of tight and small and squeezing us through these uncomfortable energies, but once we come out, it'll be amazing. So while we're in this is the 4D. So we didn't talk about 4D, but 4D basically is the astral realm, okay? It's where any thoughts that you have, anything that you put out in your thought form goes to the 4D realm, okay? And there are beings who also exist in 4D. So basically, we're in that right now, lower 4D and upper 4D. So there's two sides to 4D. In the lower 4D, that's where the ego is, okay? This is where we overcome the ego when we shift from lower 4D to upper 4D. So when somebody's saying something, like you go online, this is something I think we can all relate to. When we go online and we see like a political, post about Trump or about whatever it is.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh my, it goes against what you believe, right? And you're like, oh my God, because I'm guilty of this too. I mean, I only recently learned to like master that and just learn to accept that people can have their own opinions and it doesn't have to be the same as your own, but it triggers you in some way. That's your ego, because what it's basically telling you is that it's not okay for somebody else to have a different opinion than yours because yours is right. That's basically what it's telling you. So that's the ego. Or when you get jealous even, that's the ego telling you that you're not good enough and somebody's better than you. You know what I mean? When in reality, when you're envious, all you're doing is seeing something that you already have in you, but that you want to kind of better in you in somebody else. That's really what that is.
And they separate us. Yeah.
Yeah. So it separates us. The ego separates us from realizing that we're actually connected to everything in this universe. Everything from like literally when they say God is in the sky, God is in the, a rock, God, like what they mean by that is that space and time are irrelevant in all of this. And I guess we'll come to realize this as science starts to also release this kind of information out to the masses, but it's irrelevant. Space and time are completely irrelevant. So we're going to be very connected soon. You know what I mean? To all of this.
I love when you put it together. That's a really good interpretation of like jealousy, for example,
Right.
The ego, making you believe, in the back of your head telling you, oh, she's better than you, or, and then you have to like step out,
Yeah. Exactly. Or when you want to take control of a situation, things are not going the way you want, and then you start to get irritated because of it. I'm guilty of it too. It happens to all of us. So we have to, and it's the hardest thing. Like just before we went live, I was going through that. You saw me. I was like, just go with the flow. It's okay. Things are not working out the way they're supposed to work out, right? It happens that way. We have to learn to just let go of control, even if it's not how we don't have the bird's eye view on things. That's the thing we have to realize. There is a plan for everyone, for everything. And there's a plan in place, a really strong plan. And we're all going there. It's just everyone's journey is a little bit different. So some people won't want to go to 5D because they're not ready for it. So they'll choose to stay in 3D, you know what I mean? And evolve in their own time.
Yeah. And I agree with you. I mean, I think, the more we align with our true nature, which is, being in 5D, the more we are in touch with our higher purpose, because we realize that we are all connected and that I'm not here just for myself and my dreams and my goals. Yeah, it's such a beautiful.
And everyone has a purpose and a mission, and we all come to realize it at a different time. Like I only realized mine a few years ago. I really didn't know what I was here for. I didn't understand. I just knew that I was here for something higher, but I didn't know what it was. And I felt very lost for a very long time, to be quite honest. And That's something that a lot of light workers, like I'm sure you've heard that term, light workers, starseed, and a lot of us are that, you know, the ones who are first of all, interested in this thing to begin with, who are watching this even. That's sort of what you are. You know what I mean? You're a light worker, and everyone gets activated at a different time. You'll know when it's your time. You know when you've been activated, and you come to realize your mission. That it's a greater mission. It's a mission of like almost like you're a volunteer who came here to sort of share your knowledge and your vibration and help Earth ascend, because Earth needs help, a lot of help right now. There's a lot of people who are so asleep, and it's frustrating for me sometimes too, and for a lot of people, I think, because you get attacked. You know, people attack you when you try to share this kind of information and say that you're crazy or that you're a conspiracy theorist. And it's like,
is that when
you can't just talk about the spiritual side. You kind of have to look at the whole thing. You know, there is a political side. It's not about politics so much as it is about, there is an agenda right now, and there's a lot going on in the world, and we need to sort of be aware of it. So you can even take a look at my page for that, because I share a lot of stuff about that too.
Yeah, no, for sure. You know, especially like I was gonna say, when you see people settling, you know, for what they were taught to do or to be, and when
Yeah,
they're completely shut, closed, and they, you know, they just think this is to their time in life.
stuck in the matrix. That's the term used. They're stuck in the matrix. We're like Neo. We're trying to like we're trying to red pill everybody right now. And say it's beyond that. You don't have to be a slave. They don't know that they're a slave to the system, you know?
Don't give up.
So it's about waking up to that, not also pointing the finger and saying you're a slave to the system, because I think we all were a slave to the system at some point. It's about trying to help everybody wake up from that and pull them out of that. And everyone is going to realize that we are, first of all, we are gods and goddesses. That's the truth of the matter. When you hear these terms thrown around like divine goddess, it's not about trying to like boost your self-esteem. It's literally, we are gods and goddesses, because a god and a goddess is a creator being. That's what it is. That's what that means. And that's who we are. We are creator beings. We create constantly, you know, with our energy. We're constantly creating. And as time goes and we ascend, we're going to see what that really means to create, because it's going to, I don't think our minds can really comprehend right now what that truly means. But I think that over time, the next maybe 1,000 years, like humanity will reach that point where we're
going to be part of that,
you know, yeah, you know, yeah. So just about keeping your vibration high. That's the whole point of this. The whole message out of everything we talked about is raise your vibration. Raise your vibration. Yes, go for it.
How can we do this easier to raise our vibration?
There's many ways. So, I mean, the most obvious ways, which, you know, I'm sure you also have heard, is like, you know, you can meditate. Yes, definitely go within, meditate. This is a great way. Not everyone is comfortable meditating. It takes a lot of practice too, because when you start meditating, it can get uncomfortable to be quiet in your mind. Thoughts keep coming in to interrupt you as you're trying to sort of silence yourself. And it's about, and then you kind of want to be in control. So it's about letting go of control when you meditate. So if you're going to meditate, you have to do it properly. You know what I mean? And that's the way, is if the thoughts come in, it's okay, just dismiss them, but really go within to a point where you can't even almost feel your body anymore. Like you literally become numb in your body. That's sort of the feeling that you get when you're deep in your meditative state. And you will come across a lot of things when you're in that state, encounters, information, downloads, all kinds of things. So that's a great way.
I was gonna add there. So for me, I realized that when I started awakening and being aware of how I was responsible for my energy, I had to kind of walk away from things that were not allowing me to vibrate or to be aligned with myself. Okay, so for me, it was more. And it's not like I wanted to block people, but I had to kind of do that in that moment, because I was just trying to learn how to understand me and how to love me, right? I think
completely.
that process of like, we give our energy to the world and everybody else.
Oh my gosh.
But then, you know, we're like,
you forget about yourself and you deplete your own energy, and then you kind of go under like depression, or like you want to, you know, just stay in your house and not talk to anyone for like a week, and then you think,
I think for me, the advice I would give, and is, you know, it's just follow your heart. Do the things that you love, that you always wanted to do, wanted to be, wanted to try, wanted to learn. go on an adventure with yourself. Even if people don't get it, like go and just follow your heart, follow your intuition, and experience life. Like
Yeah.
experience the feelings, experience the, you know, like get to know you and love
Get
you.
rid of the limiting beliefs that tell you that you
Yeah.
can't do what it is that you, let me say something. First of all, this is like the first live or video I've ever done, and I was very nervous to do it, I'll be honest. But it's something that I dreamed of doing, let's say a few months ago, and didn't think I would be doing this right now. So for me, that's a big step. And for everyone, they have their own thing, you know, get rid of the limiting beliefs, because you can do anything you want, literally. You just need to, first of all, like you said, get rid of the toxic people. Don't be afraid to get rid of the toxic people in your life, because
You know,
there are
like
toxic
put on a
people.
break, and then when you
Yeah,
take care of yourself, you are capable of embracing their journeys with love,
exactly.
without judgment. Then you can welcome them back. But because you are now aligned and you are way more aware, and less people can influence you less, because now you are in touch with your intuition, with your heart.
And you're confident about who you are now. Like you actually know, right? No, 100%. That's super important. Take time for yourself, because we do exhaust ourselves. We want to give to our families, to everyone. And we need time to sometimes just rest. And that's part of it too, because you need to raise your vibration. You need to have the full energy. You need to rest. You need to take naps. You need to take your saltwater baths, because that's a great way too. Get sunlight. Sunlight is amazing way to raise your vibration. Like in the morning, go out. Some people do sun gazing. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but you actually like start to look directly at the sun. And I know we've been told that it's bad for us, but it's actually the opposite. It's actually really good for you. You have to do it sort of, you have to practice it, but that's a really great way to open up your third eye, actually. Binaural beats, you can YouTube binaural frequencies, things like that. Like I have some going right now. Yeah, it helps you. It helps you to heal. There's different kinds. Take supplements. Take spirulina. That'll help to remove the heavy metals from your body, because we have a lot of heavy metals in our body from vaccines, from processed foods, from everything. Things like that. Turmeric powder, add it to your food.
Here on a live with you to talk just about that, because that's
yeah, heavy metals. Yeah, we'll do another video another day about that for sure. There's many different ways, but basically raise your vibration. Think good thoughts. Don't focus on the heavy dense feelings. Know that everything will pass, and we're in a good direction. As humanity, we're in a good direction. I know everyone's scared right now because of the coronavirus, of the instability in the world, but I promise they want us to feel fearful. That's the whole point. They want our immune systems to be low. They want us to crash, basically. But the whole point is not to do that. Don't, because we will be okay. We will come out of this, and we're going to come out strong and free, you know? So
absolutely. And the more you feel fear, the more you are in the matrix. The more
100%.
Your mind, the more control they have over your soul, over your body. So the more you feed the
stop watching the news. Just kidding. Stop watching CNN. I'm just kidding. Well, not really kidding, but yeah, I mean, you know, that would be my advice, honestly. We're in exciting times. There's no need to be scared about anything right now. Just be authentic to yourself. Be authentic to who you are. That's the most important thing.
You don't know who
is
you
be
are
true to yourself.
For yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no need to wear a mask. And when I say mask, I'm not talking about this mask. There's no need to wear a mask. Okay, in that sense, it's okay to be who you are. It's okay not to conform. It's okay not to be like everybody else. In fact, we're all so special. We all have our own unique blueprints. We have our own codes. We have we're eternal. We've lived so many lives, whether we realize it or not. We have come here as very evolved souls. So we have to give ourselves that credit, first of all, that we have a lot of light, and we came here for a purpose, and we're amazing. No, like seriously, I think everyone just needs to just love themselves more, basically.
I agree.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tarah. I wish I could give you a big hug.
Thank you.
Now, but I'm
virtual Zoom hug.
Thank you.
Thank you, Denise. This is a lot of fun.
So much more to learn, and there's so much more to talk about, but I think this was a good foundation, and we'll find more topics for you ladies that we can help you understand.
Definitely. And I mean, anyone who wants to talk to either of us, we're in this group. I also have my page, Tarah Gumucio, Warriors of the Light. I have my other group, So, you know, this information is there every day, literally. This information is there constantly. So if you're ever interested, you can contact any of us, right? And we can connect you to that. So yeah.
Great. Thank you so much, and I wish you all an amazing weekend starting today.
Yes, have an amazing weekend. Take care, and we'll talk soon.
Talk soon. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks. You liked it?
Yeah, I loved it.
Girl, I was like,
You did so good. You were so awesome.
thank you. Oh my God. Let's go eat, guys.
Let's go eat.
I'm so hungry.
Yeah. I'm gonna put on a different shirt.
Okay.
I'll be right back. Would you feel comfortable to talk to Joe and my husband the experience that we had?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I'm gonna give you mushrooms. Maybe, of course, maybe. That's a
It seems scary.
no. Everything seems scary for sure. But believe me, you will be fine. You probably end up doing it every weekend.
Wow.
Okay, I think I recorded this. Did I? Okay.